Welcome back to Broncos Country Tonight, joined by Steve Atwater, Hall of Famer. Steve, I wanted to talk to you about the secondary. I love talking about the secondary. A.J. Bouye spoke with the media, and he said one of the things that is going to be a little bit of a challenge this year because of the way OTAs are set up is building that team chemistry in the secondary. And he sort of talked about it as it relates to turnovers. He talked about it as it relates to communication. We can get to all that. But I was wondering, is there any way to manufacture that, knowing that these guys are basically just working through the playbook over Zoom right now?
Man, I really don't think so. I don't think you can manufacture that. I think it's just, when guys are in the same room, when they're on the field with one another, you get a whole different vibe than guys, meeting on videos. And, really some of these guys haven't even met yet officially. And you just know how it is when you walk into a room. You get a chance to see what the vibes are like from the rest of the guys, and they'll get a chance to see what your vibe is like. So I think until that happens, I don't know if the true bonding can really happen.
Yeah, so on that, Ben, I mean, what do you expect then? Are we expecting kind of sloppier play from secondaries across the league? I mean, unless you've had time with these guys, it almost seems like it's almost set up for that.
Well, I mean, to echo Steve's point, I felt like the bonding has been off lately while we're on the Zoom. I feel better. We're more bonded when we're in studio. But, yeah, you guys you're going to have to learn where each other is. You're going to have to learn how to pass off in zone. You're going to have to learn each other's ticks and traits and how they do things. And you can't really do that over a Zoom meeting or over Skype. You got to be out there on the field seeing it all in play.
Yeah. So are we expecting fewer turnovers? Because that's one of the things that A.J. Bouye pointed to here, Steve. He said that one of the things that to create turnovers, you kind of have to know your role. You have to know everybody else's role in the secondary. And that's where a lot of teams usually have the most success. When he talked about the 2017 Jags, that was what he kind of pointed out to. So coming back to this Broncos team, is that something that's going to be a developing trait of the secondary?
Yeah, I don't think necessarily, because I think, one, they have plenty of time now to be in their playbook. So, you think about it, they should come back ready to go, ready to know the defenses. But, once you start hearing it from different voices and, guys start understanding the terminology a little bit better, then, guys may not be able to pick it up as quickly, and they may not be able to respond to it as quickly as they think they can. So it's all just right now, it's good work, but it's not anything like those actual practices and actual reps. I don't necessarily think the turnovers will be down. I think guys will still be physical and be in the right place. But if the communication isn't there, there certainly can be some holes in the defensive coverages and in the gaps, the whole 9 yards. Wherever you can think about places there could be mistakes, there can be that without proper communication.
Steve, would you say that the bigger issue there is more communication than it is terminology? Because, you're not going to be around each other to get that communication. It's going to be wild and on the fly out there on the field versus being in your playbook where you understand your assignment because you've seen it in the playbook.
Yeah, even guys that have seen it in the playbook and, can run through it in their mind 1,000 times, especially guys who haven't done it in this defense yet. Man, it's gonna be like learning a new language when they get out there on the field. Because now they got to put it all together, and it's going to be happening really quickly. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on these guys to really stuff down and get it down quickly. But substitute for being in person doing that, I don't think you can do it. Kind of mentally. Now, I think it certainly helps. I used to get hypnotized, so I think it certainly helps to kind of visualize what the different calls is and visualize other guys making the calls and making them quickly and making your adjustments and putting yourself in the position in your mind to where you can hopefully come out in the early days of practice and perform well.
Now I have
a few mistakes.
Now I have Notorious B.I.G. playing in my head. So thank you for that, Steve. But even in that, so are you saying that the secondary needs to be hypnotized? Is that kind of your advice here?
It might help. or if not hypnotized, at least going through everything in their minds and visualizing all the different calls and them being made by someone else and not by them, and also them making calls as well, and just seeing how it unfolds in their mind, all the different players on the field, all the gaps, all that. I think it can certainly help.
Yeah, visualize. I like that.
Right.
A couple more here for you, Steve. One of the things that Bouye pointed out, he said he's been watching a lot of Chris Harris from the last year in this scheme. Can that really help him in getting prepared for the season?
I think so. I think he can, learn from watching all the guys, especially Chris, being one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. And they're different types of players, but I think he's probably watching the film to see what position he needs to be in. How the other guys are playing as well. But I think it can certainly help him watching as much film, not just on Chris. I'd say all the cornerbacks that have played in Vic Fangio's defense. Hey, take a look at it, man, and see, because you may be able to relate to other players even more.
Okay, so it's a question for both of you, but I'll start with you, Ben. Other than turnovers, I think that's the one thing you'd love to see absolutely from your secondary. What would be one thing you'd like this secondary to be one of the best in the league at?
No big plays, no busted big plays. Don't give up those big 40-yard plays. Keep those kind of game-changing, momentum-changing plays at a minimum. If you lead the league in that, you're going to be right up there and competitive all year long.
All right, Steve, same question.
I would say just giving 110% effort on every play. I want to see 11 guys on the field, knowing their assignments, and then just getting to the ball until the whistle blows. And the more times you see that on film, the better this defense is going to be, the better the guys are going to feel, the more hype they're going to get, and the better this team is going to be.